Hello everyone, welcome to the channel again. So in today's session, we'll discuss about the security roles in the PowerApp portal. As security is always the main concern in every organization, and if you are working on the portal, it means you are making something which would work throughout the globe. Okay, so at that time you need to keep tracking of the users who are doing what. So in case of PowerApp portal, it is very necessary to keep the track of the users. Suppose what we are doing, in my case I'm just using one list in on the screen that you can see on the screen. Okay, so in that list I'm just creating, like, user can create some data, right? So you can see that only two columns are there. One is the name, another one is the item created by. Item created by is the custom field that I have created. Okay, it is not the system generated field. Okay, so in order to keep the tracking of the users who are doing what, you need to take into consideration two things. One, you need to configure one field, one column which would keep the track of the user. Okay, and another thing you need to do is you need to restrict some areas for the anonymous users. Obviously anonymous users are the users who haven't registered themselves on your power portal. Okay, so here you can see if right now I haven't signed in. You can see this is sign in option. It means I haven't signed in right now. Using this power portal as an anonymous user. Okay, if I click on this create button, you can see the form will come on the screen, right? If I say, let's say, parent 5, and I submit it. Okay, so here you can see this record 5 has come without anything. Mean this system right now is not able to track me. Okay, so as I told you, two factors for this we need to think. Okay, for that, first what you have to do, you have to add one column which would keep track of the user who is using the your power portal right now. Okay, so for that thing you need to create one column. Okay, and that column would be of data type lookup. Okay, and that lookup would be of contact, because whenever any user come to your power portal and he would register himself, then a contact would be created, okay, correspond to that user. So you need to create one column which would of type lookup, and that lookup would come value come from the contact entity. Okay, and the second thing is you need to restrict some areas, like some area which would only for the authenticated users, not for the anonymous user. Like whenever I click on this create button, this form is coming. It means I need to restrict this form only for the authenticated users. Okay, means authenticated users only can come to this form. So how I can do this? As I told you, I have already created one column. You have to create your column in your entity. Okay, then what you need to do, you need to go to the portal management model driven app, and inside that portal management, as what we are doing, we are trying to add some securities. Okay, so you can see in the side menu there is a web role. Okay, once you click on the web role, there are already three web roles comes by default: administrator, anonymous user, authenticator. And administrators who have the admin role to the particular portal, anonymous who haven't signed into the portal and but they are using it, and authenticated user who have successfully signed in their details. Okay, so for that, what we need to do, we need to first create one entity permission, because whenever the user posts something or create any record, then entity permission is something where you can restrict some areas. Okay, so we'll create some entity permission. Just create one entity and name it as only login user can create item. Okay, and entity name, your entity name. Okay, my entity name is parent. Website would be obviously my starter portal. Scope would be my global. because I want it to work on the global scale. And what roles want to give this entity permission is read and create, because this is for the authenticated users. And once I create this, simply click on the save button. Right now I've just created one entity permission, then I need to add some web role to that particular entity permission. Okay, so I'll simply go down, and here you can see that web role is there, web role subgrid. You need to simply add existing web role. Okay, so just click on this search bar, and there is authenticated user, means authenticated users only comes in this entity permission. And add. Here now you can see that web role authenticated users are attached to this entity permission. Right now you will go to the entity form. Like whenever I click on this create button, I should know the name of this form, and in my case the name of the form is parent form insert mode. Okay, so I simply open it and make this as enable entity permission for that, because as this form is attached to some entity and I already created one entity permission, so it means what role I have created would be applicable to this form. Right, I simply save and close. And by doing this, our half work has been done. If I click on this, here you can see, if I refresh this now, if I'm using it as an anonymous user, I would not be able to open that form. If I open this create, you can see it, right, it is coming. So I need to reload it once more. Maybe it hasn't refreshed. No, not signed in. Create. Okay, this is coming. How it is, I'm doing something. Parent form insert mode, yes, I have enabled the permissions, yes, yes. And the web entity, where is my entity permissions? Here's my entity permission. Only organization can create record. What I'm doing, what I'm missing, starting portal, create, read and write, and web role is authenticated users. Yes, everything is going good. So, okay, so I go back and then refresh it again. Hey, you can see now, you don't have, because it has taken little time to refresh. Okay, now you can see I'm using it as a enormous user, that's why this form is not visible for me now. My another work is to track the user who is using this. Okay, so for that I already told you to create one column in the form that will take the value of the user who is using the portal. Okay, so you need to go to the entity form. Obviously it would come in the entity forms, and this is the parent form insert mode, because this form I need this form to uh, record the user who is using Power Portal. Entity form metadata, and in that case, little loading. Why it is taking time, why it is taking time. I guess my internet has slows down. Okay, so sorry, I have given entity forms, right? And inside that entity form, I'll go to the form and the ins entity form metadata, and inside that entity form metadata, what I need to do, I need to create one because at the time what we are doing, we are collecting the metadata and storing that to our form. Okay, so in that case I'll simply use one entity form metadata, and inside the entity form data, in that case what we are doing, we are capturing the current user value to any column. It means it is somewhere related to attribute. Okay, I select as attribute the attribute logical name in which column I need to do this work. So I have my column name is item created by. Okay, here you can see item created by, and little down little down. This is pre-populated value, as I haven't shown it in my form because I want it to be hidden from the users. So set value on save. Okay, this I check and type as current portal user. Okay, so current portal user value, write anything, A B C D E F G H I, and from attribute from which its value will come. So as I told you, this is the lookup column of contact entity. So I want contact ID. Say contact ID. Here it is. Okay, and then yes, everything is going good, and simply save and close. Then what we have done, we have added one column in the parent entity form and make that and add some metadata to that particular column, that whenever the user registered, whenever the user login, or whenever the user try to create one record in the Power Portal, that column will take the username inside it and it will get stored in the database. Okay, so it is taking little times, guys. Why it is taking time? Mm, refresh it. I need to again refresh it. Mm. As I refresh, I think I should check whether everything is work fine. What I did as already stored or not. So it is already stored. Attribute type. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll simply go to the here and sign in. As I sign in, I have already created one user. This is Rohit, and with his password and sign in, and I'll simply refresh it once more so that it would not make any problem. And once I click on this create button, here you can see the only form is coming because right now I'm using it as a authenticated user. Okay, so let's say this is parent 7 and I'm submitting it. Once I submit it, you can see the item created by Rohit Singh has come on the screen, which means this column has taken the current user value and store it to the database. That's how the system can track the users who are doing what. Okay, so thank you everyone for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I come up with more videos like that.